A very good evening to our viewers. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Evening Review. My name is Toiwan Jabela. Tonight on the platform, we are joined by Kabila Matambo. He is a member of the San community, and he is on the platform to help us unpack some of the challenges and the opportunities that exist for San people in Namibia. Thank you very much, Kabila, for making time. It's a pleasure to have you here.
No, thank you very much, Mr. Toivo, the media team.
Yeah.
It is a great pleasure and honor for having me here so that I can come in some of the concerns
Yes.
and opportunities that we also have in Namibia as San people.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, maybe for starters, just if you can tell us where you come from, and because I'm sure that I know that some people come from different areas of Namibia. Which area do you come from yourself?
Well, thank you. I derive from Tsumkwe constituency, specifically on Matako Valley.
Yeah.
That is now Tsumko West. We have Tsumko East and Tsumko West. Okay. We are divided by the conservancies.
Okay.
So I am from Tsumkwe West.
Yeah.
So that's where I schooled from my primary and then I went to Tsumkwe East, whereby I graduated there. Now from grade 8 to grade 12.
Okay.
And from there, now I went to University of Namibia. That is now UNAM campus, whereby I achieved my diploma in agriculture. Okay. That is both crop science and both animal and crop science.
Okay. Wonderful. It's good to hear your education journey, because the impression is always that that maybe if you are a San person, you cannot achieve that level of education, but you have gone all the way. Is that how many of fellow young people within your community actually make it to university? I know there are interventions by government, the deliberate intervention just to help marginalized communities in particular to reach that level.
Yeah, thank you. First and foremost, let me take this opportunity and thank our government of Namibia. I should say it's a caring government that really helped us from primary level to secondary until at tertiary level.
Yeah.
I'm one of the few who made it up to this level. I will not put everything on the complaint side, but I will say that, there were few challenges. Yes, we have to go through them as human beings like any other children or students at other areas. Yeah. We are few from Tsumkwe. I know most from Tsumkwe, we are very few. One is Desiree Masheshe. She's a lawyer by profession. She finished at the University of Namibia. She's now a development planner in the Division of Marginalized in Omaheke region. There's also a development planner, development planner in the Division of Marginalized, that is at Windhoek. She's also Miede Tina Gal. Yeah, Tina. That is from Tsumkwe. There are also this one Kazibe also is from the other side of Kwe side. So these are the few that I know, but there are a lot from Zambezi that I also know that made it. Some of the challenges that we faced when we were there, obviously, is the environment. The environment that you come from also determines, or I can say it also shapes who you are going to become. So I know coming from a background where young people, where you not get someone who's maybe a teacher in the school and so that he can motivate you. It was a big challenge because we listen to teachers, but they're not from our tribe. So, but there was those teachers that said, if you make it, you'll become like us.
Yeah.
So that also motivated me a lot.
Yeah.
Secondary level. And also, by the way, I came from my village itself. Nobody made it in that village. My family, I'm the first person. So I was inspired or motivated by the teachers' words. So I made it until grade 12. Some of the challenges was you have to go to Tsumkwe Secondary School. Fitting program, at least those ones for education, we're relying on those ones. And then you have to go to Tsumkwe. There was also some challenges, at least government. That was now 2015 when I went to Tsumkwe. 2015 I started my grade 8 there. President Gengo came in power, and there were some interventions of support in terms of transport. So the transport was there, but it was kind of rarely. But when President Gengo came in, may his soul rest in peace, he came in and changed our lives totally. That's when he also...
What were the interventions specifically that he brought about?
Obviously, since he came from our background, he came from he understood the challenges that we as San people are going through. When he came there, the first thing, if you can go back in some YouTube videos, you will see that he also donated shoes to us. So when he came there, he said, since I came from this background, I will appoint one of you. And whereby he appointed Honorable Royal to become the Deputy Minister of Marginalized. He will stand for you, all the challenges that you people are facing. Hostel, government was paying for us. There was also 500 allowance, but it stopped somewhere there for grade 10 and 11 students, learners. Books, obviously, we're getting also, so already we're in good hands there. But when I came to tertiary level, that's where now the challenge came in.
What was the challenge at tertiary level?
Yes, I was admitted, and then the office, they used to issue letters that, we'll pay for this person. And I went to Vambo Land, whereby the school at Ohongo. That was 2020, my first year. The challenges that... Ohongo campus.
Yeah, okay.
The challenges that I faced there, and my lecturers are also aware if they can also watch this. One of it, we came from underprivileged background whereby your mother and father, like myself, I was relying on my grandmother. The whole household were relying on and also my uncle who's a senior traditional leader. So now when you go at areas like those ones, you need basic necessities. You can go hunger, and we're not getting meals as we're getting at school. Now it's only breakfast. And your parents are not, it's COVID-19 by then. And I have to go back, but if I go back, what will I use for education in terms of materials now? So I have to live on the campus. It's only breakfast. There's no support at all. There was no support at all. I nearly gave up. Luckily enough, my uncle, through traditional councils, was a friend to Tatendelimane Chief Ipumbu. So when he took me there in my first year, he said, I brought my son here, please take care of him and so on. So at least I used to go back to him and I told him this challenge, and he said, since I'm a chief and I know the challenges that you people are having, I'll start helping you from today. That's how I made it. But many of our young ones that were brought in the same way the way I was brought, left school. Why?
Really?
Because of allowance.
I see. So the allowance was not arriving on time?
On time. It was arriving, in my first year, it arrived in October. So that's why I'm saying division of marginalized. Yes, we appreciate everything that they're doing, but it's not effective. I can give you an example of Palm for Life. Palm for Life just came recently. It's a program. It took young ones from San community and put in course deck. Most of them graduated because they're getting food allowance at the same time. But the division of margin, until today, many are still dropping out. And I'm please appealing to the government, especially the president said it's not business as usual. Please to look into that. Otherwise, it will be business as usual. Because if the budget is arriving late, can there be some interventions to say that we can make partnership with UNAM, maybe to cater for these people, and then something sort of like that. I believe in education, then we are done with education problem.
What are the structural problems back home? You spoke about how everybody relied on your grandmother for survival, and of course something from your uncle being a traditional leader there. The problems within the San community that to the extent that the people are are classified as marginalized and all of that. Where do you think that came from? Especially when people say, no, the San are the original inhabitants of the area. Is it that you took long as a community to keep up with things, or you were suppressed in some way that you were not treated the same as others? Where did the problem come from?
First and foremost, I must say that one of the factors is culture and tradition.
Yeah.
So when the country gained independence, some communities, other communities adapted to say that let's take education seriously and send our young ones. Now myself, who came from this background, even now when something happens to me or anything, my parents will call, no, just come back. So we did not adapt that, yes, for us to make it in life, we have to rely on some of these aspects. Our parents, our parents. Because as I said earlier, who you live with, or the environment that you live in determines the future that you are going to. So even those years, some of our elders were taken to NDF and so on, and they left and came back. There was that gap to say that, why am I going far, leaving my parents here, I have to come back and so on. So now that also direct us in poverty. If they could keep their job, at least they will provide for their house. And then these young ones will be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, these young ones can be now, not in the same level that they were. And some went, and it was also part of, apparently they have been discriminated. Some are saying they are not promoted in NDF and so on. So government made interventions, but there's some of these challenges. And the other one is also area like Tsumkwe, for example. Let me take Tsumkwe. Investments are also a problem in our area in terms of creating jobs for the youth and so on. Now, in order to promote, Tsumkwe is a settlement for 36 years now. Why? Because of infrastructure. Once the government brings or empower us with infrastructure in terms of tied road, we'll have investment in the area. And then we can also now start, promoting or attracting investors in our area, create jobs, and the other factor is the leadership. Already we know that we came from a background whereby most of our people are not educated, traditional leaders and so on. And the councillors that we have, if we have people that can come up, make appointments to ministers, make appointments to the president, tell the president that instead of fitting us, we appreciate this fitting program, but are you going to fit us until when? We need projects. But there are projects that were there in Tsumkwe, but they failed. Why? Because of capacity building. For example, you take a project, Matambo never even planted mahango or anything. So you have to do some research. You have to maybe partner with UNAM or do some, capacity building so that you can try to mentor or try to push this person until at a particular level, rather than just taking a project for inauguration purposes and then you dump it there. That's why all the projects in Namibia, especially where some people are, they failed because they never appreciated them. They don't understand, in other words.
Absolutely.
So if we understand that, okay, this project is such impactful. And also the other thing is that traditionally, the channels, the regional councillor gets the project, or the traditional leaders and stuff. Kettles, for example, kettle. No, the house that is suffering a lot is the other one. And those people are just in drugs and so on and so on. At the end of the day, these people sell these things. They defy the whole tribe's name.
Absolutely.
While there are some people that are really doing that were supposed to be given so that they can keep those livestock and so on.
Absolutely. We go for a very short break and return with Matambo Kabila. We are still talking to Kabila Matambo here on the Evening Review. So tell me, my brother, I've never been to Tsumkwe. what is the setup look like in your area there? How do people survive on a daily basis? Do you, I mean, where I come from, for example, we plow mahangu and we rely on that, of course, with old age pension also, you can supplement yourself. And if you have a son working in Windhoek like myself, maybe I send something small to my mother or my father to supplement the family there. But give me a picture for somebody who has never been to Stumkwe. How do people live typically?
Yeah, we live by God's grace and also government support, I should say. I must be honest.
Yeah.
As I said first, we rely on pension, our grandmothers.
Yeah.
They are the ones that are kind of now the backbone of the households. That pension, most of the people in this, now it tends to be this harambe, the ones of children. So it also now supports the whole house. Because you know, our culture, we live more than even 40 people at one house, and 20 and like that. We are not people, we can live in one yard, but eat with one fire. So we also live on, at least there is some fee handing, some of them that are having those mini jobs. And we also rely on seasonal plantings. For example, at our house, we plant, it's January, April, and then from there, rely on that. But most of the time, our community, especially Tsumko West, if you go in Tsumkwe, this side of Tsumko West, most of the people are planting. If you go on Tsumkwe East, that's where now you'll see some, they started now with vegetables and so on, as I was saying, capacity building, people need to be trained. At least Conservancy is coming up with some mechanisms to train them and so on. They start now realizing. You know, first this fitting program was continuously, now it became kind of sporadic. Whereby it's given now in January, maybe April and so on. So now they started now facing those challenges. And recently also people removed the elderly. Elderly, apparently they're getting pension, so they should go out. So these are, and some that are working at some shops, that is the life that is there. So I think projects, sustainable projects, not donation projects, we mean sustainable projects. There was one that was then, which is abandoned, inaugurated by the president. Until now, what we don't know.
What kind of project was it?
It's agriculture.
Okay.
Agronomic and vegetable. A very multi-million-dollar project. It just stopped. The boreholes were drilled, everything, and then it was abandoned.
It never, people never started working, or they started and then they left it halfway?
They started nicely. Boreholes were drilled, fences were put on, fishing ponds were made, and then it was done like that.
What was the issue?
The issue here is that apparently, I don't know, because it was with World Food Program and Brazil Embassy. Apparently funds, what, here we are hearing that it's water. So other thing is awareness. Now the leadership that are there are not even talking to the traditional authority. What is, things like that. So I'm also closer to the traditional authority, I'm assisting them. So we're trying to push to the president to understand what is going on and stuff, but we haven't got any response from the Minister of Finance. So that was a project, because it was implemented or like initiated by late president, kind of turning it into a green hydrogen, a mini hydrogen, something like that, to empower some people. We thought that could absorb many youth that are in the streets. I think the unemployment rate in Somko is somewhere, but above 30.
About 30.
Or 40 there.
Yeah. Tell me about what we read a lot in the papers is also the issue of statelessness, where people are stateless essentially because they don't have national identity documents. I'm actually surprised when you talk about the pensioners sustaining households and the entire community, because it means that those pensioners have national identities for them to be accepted in the payment system of government. But I'm sure there must be other elders who do not have those, and therefore they are struggling to sustain their families.
The population of Tsumkwe stands at somewhere at 15,000 somewhere now. But I must sit here and assure the nation that maybe 2,000 or 3,000, some elders, some passed on without IDs. So when this registration outreach goes on the ground, when people are registering, they are told that they have to provide their ancestral documents, which they do not have, like the ones for South Africa, Angola, and so on. Most of them came from Angola, some of them came from South Africa. So these people are deprived in that sense. And now, if you do not have IDs, obviously you are going to affect your young one, the ones that are going to school. So
because
they
won't get either, because
burial issues. We used to bury, I'm sorry for saying so, but rotten people. People lives there in mortuaries for even 7 years or even 3 years. Recently, there were some that were buried in Grootfontein. Most of them were our people. It's hurtful. If government can really give attention to this, especially this outreach that is going. So this year, I myself, the constituency council and the traditional authority said we cannot sit in Tsumko and wait for government people to come to us. Let's make an appointment to the governor. We made an appointment to the governor. We said to the governor saw it as a very important issue with water crisis. So from there, we took it from that level and we came as a joint team and we came to the vice president. From there, we also, luckily enough, I'm closer to Honorable Lucia. I also took these letters from the traditional authority and I gave to her, and now it's getting necessary consideration. And I believe this time they are just only going to ask for hetman letters. They are some people, they are looking like me, they are my people, they left there before independence. I want the government to really consider and help this community.
And the other issue is land. How is the land situation among the San people?
Yeah, the land situation, I must assure the nation and also Mr. Twebo yourself that we have enough land in Tsumkwe. However, it's categorized into zones, like wildlife zone, commercial, and so on and so on. Forestry one and so on, free state, and communal, It's communal, but conservancy categorizes it into zones.
I see.
So now, we have an issue with traditional leaders. I must sit here and say that our traditional leaders do not understand, or they do not understand their role. I'm sorry to say that one of them is also my uncle, but I'm sorry to say that. Because once you are a chief, I will not sit here and say chiefs must not give land to other people. Myself, I'm living in Ovambo land with Ovambo people there. But I'm saying that the way land is given now, and when you are looking at the, government of Namibia has supported or signed the declaration at the United Nations in terms of supporting and protecting indigenous people. Now, our chiefs are giving land, and that is corruption, giving land without even including the indigenous minorities that are found there to be part of the whole matter, decision. As a result, this community, these people that are given land, either over Herero, or Vamp, over Kavango, they go there, they grab the whole land, fence it off. But it's not them that are doing that, it's caused by the traditional leaders. Because in the process, in darkness, what they are doing these things. Already, they were told maybe they came for farming. Now, they are afraid that should they not fence that area, they will still allocate other person there. So they have to fence that whole area. Now, as a result, our people are not even practicing their rituals in terms of going to the bush, search for medications, or even firewoods. They are now afraid. There was an issue of death there in Tsumbo whereby a San person took a spear and he shot and the inspector, Tatene Punda. It was caused by the traditional leaders. And we saw the issue of Ondonga, what happened to Ondonga. So now the issue of land, our traditional leaders are giving land for their own benefits, leaving the community deprived like that. The whole lands, all the lands are fenced off, this community. And I'm appealing to the division of marginalized, especially the new deputy minister, Ministry of Lands. And that issue I know is not only happening in Tsumbo alone, it's happening everywhere. But at least in these resettlement farms, Maheke and so on, there's also issues whereby other tribes are invading these resettlement farms and so on. I don't know whether it could be the chiefs that are allowing that, or maybe these people are coming in. The division of marginalized must, one of their aims is to protect these people. To protect means to go on the ground, check are these people living the way they are living. Because they used to go every year to United Payment Forum. Yeah, so issue of land, we are appealing to the government to intervene. Honestly, because we know land is an investment. We can say that at Ekambwa, we want you to come and invest in our area. And okay, now I want to farm. Okay, what are you going to help? No, I'm going to help with kindergarten. I will supply this and this. No, these are the terms and stuff. That's how things are done. But rather than just giving land for your own benefit, That we call it corruption, we are calling it selling, and so on and so on. Yeah, and I'm calling also Honorable Sankwasa to listen to this and give attention to Tsumkwe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The last question to you, my brother, is what is the attitude within your community, particularly the willingness to work? Because you always deal with you deal with issues of prejudice, also people thinking that maybe the San are not. Of course, it's a huge transformation from being a nomadic people to being now settled there and having to build your lives from there. When you talk about the likes of Kambwe, if they come there and set up businesses and say we need shopkeepers, we need truck drivers, we need handymen, are your community members willing to do the hard work?
Thank you very much. That's a question that I was waiting for. First we have to adapt. In order for us to adapt in nowadays life, who should maybe promote that advocacy is the leadership. Traditional leaders and the counselors that we put there. Part of their work is to educate the community. Speak constantly to the community. Speak to their community, motivate them to say that nowadays lives, if you do not stand up for yourself or anything of that sort, you will not do it. You will live like this until the rest of the day. So there's that mentality, yes, of sure, there's that mentality whereby we are just relaxed and waiting for the government to provide food for us, to provide everything for us. And it's caused by what? It's caused by the traditional leaders and it's caused by the counselors. If they come out and educate the community to say that stand up and do like this, 2 or 3 people will start and the rest will start following. Because this thing is instilled in the elders. And the elders are the ones that are now transferring it to the younger ones. Myself, I'm seated here. I can work as a security guard. If there's no job, I can stand up and make a project. I will not sit and wait for my mother. And I will not sit and go back to Tsumkwe if I'm made to get like this. I have to be in Windhoek or I have to be where and hustle and get a job or maybe look for an alternative so that I can make something. But that mentality is caused by our traditional leaders and our elders. It starts with our homes even. If my uncle or my whatsoever is not teaching me, and that has also created a bad narrative. That's why today I must bring it to your attention. The president has to appoint people, even as ambassadors, cabinet ministers and stuff. We are narrowed. The only position whereby now we are narrowed is at division of marginalized. Because of some of these narratives.
Absolutely.
Because of some of these narratives, the image that we have created. So if our leaders, and it starts with self-motivation, if we can talk to each other constantly in the constituency that no, what we are doing is dirtifying our name or putting a bad image to us. Myself, now I'm attached as an internet office of ombudsman. If I leave there and I go, or if I get drunk there and stuff and do everything, I'll damage the whole constituency's image. So we have to take whatever responsibility comes first. We have to take responsibility in our hands to say that if a Novambo child can do this, a Hero child can do this, why can't I not do this?
Absolutely.
We can become ambassadors. We can become cabinet minister rather than just be deputy minister of what every time. No, we can lead the whole nation and show the people that we can do it.
Absolutely.
But it starts with self-motivation. Once we motivate ourselves on the ground, and I was talking to the deputy minister when I met an appointment, when he called me for briefing of the Sun Cultural Festival, which I'll also talk about so that you can put it. I went to him and I told him that first and foremost, work on unity. But unity must have a platform. The division of marginalized must live this one-way development. It will not, you cannot develop me while you're not talking to me. We can live in the same house. The division of marginalized must put a platform, create a platform, like each and every year towards end of the year. Bring traditional leaders, some council organizations, so that you people can motivate yourselves through that no, we have targets, we have reached this, we have reached this. And then you can talk to them that it's you through your unity. And when you talk to yourself that we can do better, that's when we can do. Now you go in Tsumkwe, there's no meetings, council is not making any meetings, traditional leaders are not making any meetings. That is in the past. But now I'm seeing them, they're coming, traditional leaders are coming. And traditional leaders will always rely on this particular person who's the councillor. He must be an advocative and educated person who must have a clear vision for the community.
Absolutely. We had run out of time, but if you can briefly touch on the cultural festival that you spoke about.
Yeah, we are planning to have a Sun Cultural Festival in September, that is from 21 to 26.
Will that be the first?
First in Tsumkwe. First Sun
in Tsumkwe.
Cultural Festival in Tsumkwe.
Okay.
This cultural festival is not just a normal way of the way we used to do it. Come, dance, celebrate, and go. This time we want to have a dialogue. That's why we extended the days. Have a dialogue. Bring government institutions here, NGOs, ourselves here, some people. Until today, we have languages that are not documented, not even empowered in school curriculums and so on. But we are here dancing, showcasing in independence and so on, Indigenous Day and stuff. Why can't we not touch on these critical things? We must have lecturers like other at university level, some languages. Teachers for some people in every way. That's why we said this time is not just a thing of coming, wearing skins, dancing, and going back, and also touch on policies that are affecting us, our culture. We also want to touch on it and give to the governors to say that these things are the ones that are affecting us. Give kind of a declaration to the governors to say these policies like, okay, civilization, education, and so on, we can adapt, but our culture, we rely on hunter and gathering. I will not say that I will advise my people to go and hunt necessarily, but at least even those skins so that they can keep it. Must they wear now goat skins or what? Yeah, seasonal huntings, not permanently, but seasonal, just to keep the culture alive.
Absolutely.
So these are some of the policies that we want to touch on also.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's 21 to 26.
Okay.
We are hoping that we are just waiting for the division of marginalized to come out because they acknowledge and they said they are going to support us with some aspects. So we are waiting from them.
Okay.
B2 Gold, Senoret, and many have showed up, and UNICEF, UN, and so on.
Okay.
So we invited them also to come and listen. This time it's not about celebrating. We have to touch on tangible things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, my brother,
No,
for making
thank you
time.
very much, Mr. Toivo. It was a great pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Platforms like this are very important, and I believe if I'm not the first one or the second one,
You're the first man.
I want other, even traditional leaders to come here, please.
Absolutely.
To come and air their views here.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you very
No,
much.
thank you. That is Kabila Matambo. He is a member of a very young and energetic member of the San community, speaking to us about the structural problems within that community and how they can be resolved. Thank you for watching.